Mrs. Crumley's Gnomes. In the serene suburb of Willow Grove, nestled among tree-lined streets and picket-fenced homes, there was a mischievous boy named Timmy. Aged 13, he possessed a daring spirit that outshone the tranquility of the neighbourhood. With each passing day, Timmy concocted pranks that tickled his imagination and terrorised the locals. No one's mailbox was safe from being stuffed with frogs, no driveway immune to a soapy sheen, and no street sign remained in its rightful place for long. Timmy had a knack for the mischievous, earning himself the reputation of a pint-sized mastermind, untouchable by the rules or the long arm of the law. His cunning led him to believe that his youth was an impenetrable shield against consequences. He was the pint-sized king of mayhem, relishing the chaos he sowed. Timmy was the talk of the town, his exploits whispered about in hushed tones by adults who found themselves simultaneously appalled and impressed by his audacity. Timmy's peak of notoriety arrived on a particularly eerie Halloween night. Feeling invincible as ever, he set his sights on the yard of Mrs. Crumley, a reclusive woman known for her eccentricities and her peculiar collection of garden gnomes. Whispers in the neighbourhood insinuated that these gnomes possessed a mystical, protective aura, but to Timmy, they were just perfect targets for his mischievous inclinations. Under the cloak of darkness, he tiptoed through the overgrown garden and rearranged the gnomes into a mischievous configuration, spelling out "Old Hag" in front of Mrs. Crumley's porch. Unbeknownst to him, this act disrupted the gnome's protective powers and awakened something otherworldly. As the clock struck midnight, strange occurrences commenced. Timmy found himself at the receiving end of his own pranks, but these weren't the harmless jokes he once relished. In his sleep, he awoke to dozens of frogs in his bed, causing him to jump out in a panic. Slippery substances materialised out of thin air, causing him to slip and break his wrist. In pain, he noticed items from his bedroom rearranging themselves into eerie patterns, forming the word "die." The fear of these unexplainable events made Timmy too afraid to get into trouble ever again. It became evident that these events were a form of retaliation orchestrated by an unseen force. Whispers began to circulate among the adults, spreading the tale of the enchanted gnome seeking revenge for Timmy's transgressions like wildfire. The once brazen boy now found himself entangled in a web of inexplicable happenings, realising that there were consequences beyond the boundaries of his understanding. Though he evaded the reach of the law, Timmy became the eerie legend passed down from one generation to the next in Willow Grove. Parents caution their children about the perils of overstepping boundaries and playing pranks that may awaken forces beyond their control. Recounting the cautionary tale of Timmy, the boy who thought himself invincible, until the neighbourhood gnomes proved otherwise.
Thank you for listening today. Stay safe out there.
Join us
In the next video.
and don't get too spooked.